So now this is Mark chapter 15, verse 33 through to 41. And we're joining it halfway through the crucifixion of the Lord Jesus. Remember, it said in verse 25, it said that Jesus was crucified on the third hour, which would have been our equivalent of 9 o'clock in the morning. Mid-morning as far as they were concerned. But so all through that time, from early dawn till 9 o'clock in the morning, they'd had this trial, and they'd had the crowd shouting, crucifying Jesus, and them beating Jesus and leading him out to be crucified. And he had been there since 9 o'clock in the morning. And in verse 33 it says, when the sixth hour came, that would have been like high noon, 12 o'clock, our equivalent of 12 o'clock noon. Darkness fell over the whole land until the ninth hour. At the ninth hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is translated, my God, why have you forsaken me? And when some of the bystanders heard it, they began saying, behold, he's calling Elijah. And someone ran and filled a sponge with sour wine and put it on a reed and gave him a drink, saying, let's see whether Elijah will come to take him down. And Jesus uttered a loud cry and breathed his last, and the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. When the centurion who was standing right in front of him saw the way he breathed his last, he said, truly this man was the Son of God. There were also some women looking on from a distance, among whom were Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James the Less, and Joseph, and Salome. And when he was in Galilee, they used to follow him and minister to him. And there were many other women who came up with him to Jerusalem. So at midday, high noon, the whole earth, the whole darkness fell upon the whole land. And it's a bit like the curse, the plagues of Egypt, where there was darkness. And so there is darkness here for 3 hours. Jesus suffered on the cross in darkness for the last 3 hours. And it reminds you of those times when Jesus is speaking about the judgment, where there is thick darkness, where the worm never dies and the flame never goes out. And Jesus took the punishment, the full wrath of God for us. And he calls out these words in Hebrew, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is the beginning of Psalm 22, where he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? It's as if God had turned his face away from the Lord Jesus. And the people, they came and brought wine vinegar to him. And they said, perhaps Elijah will come. Perhaps Elijah will come. But he breathed his last. And as he breathed his last, the veil of the temple, the curtain in the temple, which separated the holy place from the Holy of Holies, it was torn in two from heaven, from the top to the bottom, almost like from heaven to earth. God was tearing it apart so that we could walk through into the Holy of Holies and have that fellowship with God himself. Jesus, by his own body, by the crucifixion of his own body, it meant that we could go in and have fellowship with him. On that curtain there were pictures of the angels. And remember, the angels stopped Adam going back into the Garden of Eden. And the special thing about the Garden of Eden was not all the lovely fruit and vegetables and loveliness of it, although it was. It was the fact that in the eventime, Adam could walk in the garden and have fellowship with God himself. And now Jesus has made a way so that we can walk in to the Holy of Holies, and we can now again have fellowship with the Father. He has restored to us what Adam lost. Praise his name.